You've probably never heard of. If you're like most people, you have a lot of data on your computer that's really important to you. Things like pictures of your kids, videos of their birthdays, bank statements, tax returns, and so on. Okay, now imagine that an online crook takes all of that from you and then holds it for ransom. It's a 21st century protection racket, and it's the subject of tonight's Not on Your Side Consumer Alert. Here's Kevin Keene.
For Robert Nelson and George Duvall, it started with a phone call. The caller claimed he was from Microsoft. In separate phone calls, the man told Nelson and Duvall, who don't know each other, that their computers were infected with viruses. At first, they were skeptical.
How do I know you're from Microsoft? And he seemed shocked, and he said, well, he says, how would I know that that computer is sending viruses and stuff if I wasn't from Microsoft?
But Nelson ultimately believed the caller. Duvall did too.
I just went along with it like a puppy being led to the slaughter, I guess, It was just something, follow instructions, and I will.
The man's instructions led both Tucsonans to turn on their computers and type in a special code, which allowed the caller to take control of their computers from afar.
And pretty soon he says, oh my gosh, he says, it's really infected, terrible. He said, you got all kinds of viruses on there.
In both cases, the man on the line said he'd clean it up if the victim paid up. The price, $199 for an immediate fix, plus 1 year of protection, $399 for 3 years.
As soon as they said, wanted money for it, I mentioned the fact, well, I'll just take it down to the gentleman that repairs my computer for me. And they told me, assured me, no, someone else couldn't fix this. They had to fix it.
Nelson also said no. Both say the caller, increasingly rude, made it clear if they did not pay for repairs right now, their computers would never work again. Their pictures, videos, documents, and bank files would disappear.
They were holding my computer hostage, more or less, for a ransom. Unless I paid that money, they wouldn't fix it.
Both men hung up. Duvall's computer stopped working. It never had a password before, and now it did. The caller created one, and Duvall could not log in. Both men called professionals for help.
A lot of people bring their computers to us, say, our computer has been hijacked.
Gary Pierce confirms this is a scam. The owner of Western Communications in Tucson says the caller is not from Microsoft, but a slick scammer running a sophisticated operation.
Pierce explains it all starts when you click on a link in an unknown email or web page. That downloads a virus, and it searches your computer for your phone number. Then the scammer calls you, tries to get you to give up control of your computer, and makes you pay a ransom to get it back.
When they try to do this, it's basically coming into your home and saying, with a gun, I want your money.
Luckily, Nelson and Duvall didn't pay a penny. Pierce says the scam, which some call ransomware, started in the last 6 months.
It's becoming more active right now.
A dozen people have come to him, and he's been able to fix the problem. Microsoft is well aware scammers are using its name. The company wrote to Not on Your Side, our advice is simple. Treat callers as you would treat strangers in the street. Do not disclose personal or sensitive information to anyone you do not know.
Do you think people know about this threat?
No, not very many.
Should they?
Absolutely.
Nelson and Duvall ended up paying about $100 each to have their computers repaired. They feel scammed, but at least they can laugh about it.
I'm more mad at myself than anybody else.
There's a sucker born every minute, and I hate to think, well, I was one of those suckers, but I guess I was.
In Tucson, Kevin Keene, KGUN-9 on your side.
Want to let you know that Microsoft also told us it does not call people out of the blue. They tell us be wary of anyone claiming to work for the company unless you're expecting that call. Now, I know that might seem obvious to you, but our advice here is to make sure that everyone in your house knows that, including children who might answer the phone and the elderly. They need to know that too. Microsoft would not tell us how it plans to combat this problem. Western Communications here in Tucson says Microsoft is trying to track down the scammers who are likely overseas using its antivirus software. This story came to us from one of you, our Not on Your Side viewers. If you have a problem that you want us to look into, maybe it's another scam, all you have to do is ask, we'll investigate. Just email us, news@kgun9.com, or call 290-7726. And please stay with us because we're going to be back right after this.